What you see in the background is the Maiella mountain. So we are on a mountain ridge before the Maiella. The weather is cloudy, even if we are almost in mid-July. We are also having a few drops of rain for the happiness of the local farmers. And we have an archaeological site here, which I just discovered yesterday. It's called Juvanum, officially considered Roman site. But in the pictures I saw, I noticed some suspect blocks of stone. And so we came here. We are in Abruzzo. Maybe I should have said that. We are not far from Monte Pallano, site on which I've already done a video. And there we can see now the suspect blocks of stones. We are now getting closer. It's peaceful, there's nobody around. The site is permanently open, even if there was a gate, but it was open. We called the number to make sure, since we had previous experiences. And now I'll show you the place. Here you can see a series of blocks of stone. They look polygonal, but they don't really fit one with the other. The sizes are not extreme, but quite big, though. I would say between 500 kilos and a ton. Here we see another part with blocks even bigger. Here's some Roman walls. So the site was obviously recycled and reused by the Romans. And here we have a series of very nice things. Jordan, you said they were talking about the Samnites. So the Romans recolonized a Samnite site. Even if this almost looks like a square block wall. It looks a little bit like a pyramid, this building. You see there's different steps. Here we have another kind of strange pyramid. These blocks are really big, some of them. Here we have pieces of columns, really big ones. They must be 80 or 90 centimeters tall, by another 80 of diameter, by another 80 across. Stay there so I can show the size. Yes, the broken one is even longer.
È lunghissimo, sì.
Here we have a polygonal corner. You see how it's been chiseled. Here too. Here the classical situation we saw before, when the Roman reutilize a site, they add some blocks which are already in place and they add their small walls. Yeah, the Romans always do like that. Yeah, these also have some bas-relief, some sort of frame. You can see the signs of the doors that were opened there on the ground, the round sign. I haven't studied the site, but here we have a room with huge stones, square blocks. Here we have a small polygonal corner. Interesting, this site, I like it. Completely unknown, other huge blocks. And from here we have a view of the whole site. We are in a small depression on the top of a tableau, which, by the way, reminds me of the mountain structure of Alba Fucens, another site here in Abruzzo. Why would the Roman move here to live? I think we are at 1,000 meters height or more. Huge blocks. Really giant blocks. Go in front of it so we can see the size, just to show the size of these blocks. And there we have one with a frame. So in my opinion they have been recycled and reutilized. Here we have the first pyramidal building. Here we have a second, on which I am right now. You see, all the stones are quite big. I can recognize at least 3 levels, where each upper level is a little bit smaller. Another corner of the main altar, where we can see this slightly pyramidal structure. Here we have other Roman walls. We can always see this alternation. Big stones, here we can see a few. We are walking on some kind of walkway, which was clearly going from the depression up to the Acropolis, which you can see right now, the various walls which surrounded it. Here we have a square with quite big stones paving it. Is it a column or it's rectangular? It's rectangular, but look those. Look at this one, how it was nicely worked. Beautiful. You see this one, this has nothing to do here. It's horizontal, it's got a corner, as if it was part of another structure, but there's no stone in between. You always get the feeling that they have taken the stones and reutilized them. Here another one. The reutilized stones that were already here for their purpose, maybe recarving them like this one. It's really nice how it was carved. It looks like the capital at the base of a square column. There we have another one. This one also is square or rectangular. As I was saying before, from one picture I found of this site, I could recognize these huge blocks, and so I said, that's strange, let's go see this place. Maybe we can find something interesting. It is actually interesting, and then there's nobody here. Jordan makes me notice that this not only has a part carved away, but it's rounded. And it's there falling on the side. And in front here we have something that looks like a graveyard of stones. We are on a square made of big stones, and we have here a whole series of big stones. That one is really big, and it's even carved. Let me film it from here. Yes, you're right. Who knows what was here? I really ask myself. I think there's another one like that one. Here it almost looks like there was some writing. There's a writing here. APAO. On the top of one of the platforms inside the Acropolis, I measured 36,000 bovies, so a pretty high value. Here we have other blocks, circular columns, square columns, stairways, yeah, here there's a writing that was probably done later. It's clearly Roman. And there we can see the Acropolis seen from the depression with its platforms. Other Roman walls. Here the whole basin where the square lies. This residential area or temple or whatever it was, with the Acropolis in the background. And the beautiful hills of Abruzzo. We can see that this column was faceted like the classical columns of Greece and Rome. And there's a whole series of small bumps and hills, which seem to be areas where they can still dig something out. Today it's cloudy, otherwise that tree would be the salvation of the visitors here in this season. Just to give a sense of scale, she's tall 1.60 meters, and the column is about as long as she is tall. Another chiseled stone, probably section of a column. And here we have another series of big stones, certainly bigger than these small walls, which include here and there some bigger stones like here. Here other piles of stones spread about. We are in the tall grass here. Here we have a walkway. Another square block with carvings.
Squadrato, sì, è pure scolpito. Ah, incavo.
We saw this block before. It's strangely cut in an apparent polygonal way. And this one that has a whole series of holes, today covered in lichens. This seems to be iron, so they were something to fix the stones probably. There's another hole there. Down there as well.
Sì, sì.
And here we have a road.
Chiaramente.
Presumably Roman, but delimited by quite big stones, reused, because you see that one, it's carved in a way that probably was in another place before. They took it away and put it here to become a boardwalk. There again is the Maiella mountain, there is the Acropolis, and here around the corner we find again a few big stones and a small theater. Nicely done. This block is probably 1.80 meters long by almost 1 meter wide. That one as well. Really big. Just to show, in this theater we have this one piece of stone, which is about 1.80 meters long, and which, by the way, it's curved to follow the shape of the theater. It has a depth of 25 to 30 centimeters. This one could actually be Roman. The stone seems to be some limestone. And there we have a water drainage system as well. Strange, I've seen already this type of carvings in other megalithic sites, very ancient sites in Sardinia. These holes here. And what would be the purpose of making a water drainage system here? And here about the pavement, we have this one stone, which I guess is 1.30 meters by 1.40 meters, a really big piece of stone. It's difficult to say how deep it is, and there are a few small niches in the background of the stage. Yeah, 3 niches in total. The central one is rounded, and the other 2 are square. We have estimated the size of this single block of stone, which I believe is limestone, and considering 2.5 tons per cubic meter as the specific weight of limestone, this single block of stone would weigh more than 2.5 tons. Here I'm walking another part of the Acropolis. As you can see, the usual small stones, and then all of a sudden a big stone. Actually 2, because one is hidden by the vegetation. Here another one that's been included in the wall, which also has a groove which seems to be a previous junction with other stones. This looks like a half column, but difficult to say. And there we have the Acropolis. Sorry, the platform on the Acropolis, one of the 2. Another detail to show how refined the construction is. Here we have a little polygonal junction corner, and here it's really smooth stone, which has been protected by the others. Here there seems to have been some sort of stairway, even indications of a rounding, because this part here is rounded. As you can see, stones and stones and stone. We're talking of tens, if not hundreds of tons of stone. Between all the stones, certainly hundreds of tons brought on top of this Acropolis.